Hello, everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast brought to you by TVCaptive.com for The Walking Dead, Episode 10, Season 4, Inmates. I'm your host, Dom. With me, I have Omikins.
Hey.
And Clio.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good.
It's been
Interesting.
pretty rough couple episodes here for Walking Dead.
2 episodes.
Yeah, couple.
It's to be expected.
Yeah. I don't know, what'd you guys think of this episode?
It was good. I really expected someone important to die, but
So did I. I expected somebody to die. But maybe next time.
it was like a good minute where I thought Glenn was dead.
Yes.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna kill Glenn. They might. But if they are, I don't think it's gonna be quite yet.
Yeah.
Maggie still needs to get pregnant or something.
Oh, God.
Who's to say she's not already pregnant?
This is true. I don't know. But what's her name? I can't even think of her name. Tara.
Here.
There?
Well, yeah. What was up with that? Like Tara's now she's now with Glenn. It's I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
Was that
It's
crazy?
a pairing of circumstance. They are doing it so they can survive. I think Glenn even mentioned that he did not want to be with her, but he needed to survive. So at this point, he's just there because for assistance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why you think it's crazy.
Well,
She's not a bad person.
No.
no, but the way that the prisoner inmates, as this episode is named, because that's what they were living in the prison. So I'm referring to the group as the inmates. The way the inmates were, they didn't really, they weren't too accepting of outsiders. And then when they did, and they brought all these people in, look what happened. Like, they had this big plague come out, it almost wiped them out, like, all this stuff. And now they were kind of compromised. They're put in this position where you can't really trust people again. And then Glenn's still kind of trusting.
Because Glenn is Glenn, and he's a beautiful idiot.
He's a beautiful idiot.
Wow. Okay.
When they first cut to Glenn and it showed that he was in the prison, like, I nearly started crying, and I over and over was like, Glenn, you beautiful idiot, why?
Why do you think Michonne didn't stumble across Glenn on her sweep through the prison?
She didn't sweep through the prison. She swept through the outside of the prison.
Yeah, just the outside.
She didn't go back
I thought she jumped over the barricade and didn't. Yeah, she did, because she walked by the governor's corpse.
Well, it's a pretty big prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Plus
you would
Glenn
think,
looked
because all the
dead.
zombies were all like herded near Glenn, and they were all trying to like reach up. So
Well,
don't you
no,
think
he
you would have noticed this mass of zombies like all going for something? I would have as a
He was
person.
asleep. That's where he, like, was resting.
Right. But I mean, the zombies were
Could've
all
been-
aware he was there.
No, I know, but it could.
So don't you think
after-
Michonne would have noticed the herd of zombies?
I think Michonne was there earlier before the zombies actually noticed Glenn. So I mean, Glenn just looked like a dead guy up there. So she probably didn't even think anything of it. And if she were there when the zombies were hurting at him, then yeah, she could probably be like, okay, there's something up here. I'm gonna have to fix this. But she's already gone. I think the timeline is that all of the stuff that occurred in this episode was 4 to 5 hours after. And Michonne obviously had been there way earlier than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, time wise,
Yeah.
it was probably
Yeah.
out.
So kind of the last we had seen of Glenn, he was still recovering from being sick.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
what was it, episode 8. So this is a few days after, 2, 3, maybe most. Does this mean he's beaten the sickness?
he still looks pretty sick. I mean, he also passed out. So
He did pass out near the end. So I thought the same. I thought that he looks pretty spry for being a sick guy.
Yeah.
But
Nah.
no, he's still.
Is that a new Offspring cover?
Yeah.
Pretty spry for a sick guy.
Brown, 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 brown.
Down. Down. Down.
Oh my god. What is wrong with us? Everything.
Everything.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Tara just being one of the governor people, you would think after everything the governor has done that you wouldn't be trusting anybody within any kind of situation to do with the governor. So.
Yeah, but I mean, Glenn's a good guy, and he's also a good character.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a beautiful idiot.
He's a beautiful idiot.
We did see glimpses of Tara from before when the governor was attacking the prison, and she's like, "Why the hell are we here? Why are we doing this?" She wanted to stop.
Yeah.
So
immediate shell shock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's jump back to before we get to the very, very end. Let's jump back to the beginning since we like to memento our way through things half the time.
Well, it just happens that way.
Yeah. Well, because more exciting things happen at the end of the episode, so that's always the stuff we want to talk about first. But so we get Daryl and Beth. They're paired together. What would you guys think of that pairing?
Polar opposites. As you look at Daryl and you see him as a hero, and you look at Beth and you see her as support mostly, and she's really gung-ho to find her peoples, and he's like screw it, I want to sit down. So she's kind of pulling him forward until she finds the kids, Luke and Molly. They were kids, right? Or people, I don't know.
Well,
she finds them dead after he wasn't fated to go further.
She thought that. I don't think that wasn't Luke and Molly. Whoever those two were that got attacked by those walkers were not Luke and Molly.
She assumed. And when she realized that, she broke down. He was like, come on. He's like, let's go. And it kind of knocked him back into his I like to kill things kind of mode. Kind of like the way Michonne was last episode, where she was breaking down, and then she realized that she needed to keep going, and she needed to keep on the road of survival instead of just saying screw it. And that's pretty much where Daryl was until Beth kind of pushed him in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a little different from Michonne in the way Daryl's handling this, because Daryl, it seems like Daryl's he's going, he just lost everything he spent all this time, caring about, and where Michonne instinctively went back to that I have to survive. And then she was like, no, I want people. I don't want to be this lone person with fucking walker pets. I think Daryl still's got he's going to be a tough nut to crack.
Yeah.
He just had a moment of weakness. It was an absolute, yeah, that's it. But, yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping to see him fully break down. We had discussed this last episode, and I really think this is a dynamic of that character we need to see.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen.
Yep. So, I don't know, it seemed like Beth was almost the one leading the way for a little while there.
It was. She was kind of motivated. He just wanted to sit on the log and be like, all right. He was kind of giving up at one point, and then she's like, fine, I'm going to track you, lazy butt.
Yeah.
I'm doing this.
But
then he was like, he wanted to protect her, so he followed her.
Right, but then when, like you said, when they saw that group of people there, whatever, that's when she kind of broke down. It was, she discovered a shoe, and it was a little baby shoe, right? It looked like, was it Judith's shoe, or was it just another kid's shoe? I don't know.
Child's shoe.
And that's when there was a really small, it was a kid's shoe. I don't know if it was a baby booty shoe, or if it was
it wasn't baby booty. It was just a child's shoe.
Okay.
Yeah.
and she just kind of like lost it at that point. She just broke down and started crying. And she'd been really strong through the whole prison thing. Now she's just kind of, she's had enough. She finally hit her breaking point.
Well, she said it in her diary entry that she was determined to believe that this was going to be safe for the rest of their lives. And she had finally just given into that, okay, this prison is going to be our home for the rest of our lives. And now it's just been shattered in front of her.
Yeah.
That's a lot. No matter how many walls you put up, that's a lot to take in.
Yep, sure is. So like through the whole thing, you're watching them follow this path, and then we kind of get like a flashback, so to speak, with the other members of the group, and we get to see what they've been doing. And you get to see Lizzie, Mika, Judith, and Tyrese, and we learned Judith is in fact alive.
Mm-hmm.
So, were you guys excited to see Judith alive?
I was more excited to see Tyrese be maternal.
Ooh.
I was very excited about that. I was like, go Tyrese. I was so proud of him. I mean, Judith being alive was awesome for me because I was really torn. Like, I didn't know what could have happened. I just saw blood and I was like, oh God, that's a baby carriage. I'm kind of shot down into the dirt right now. But now that I know Judith is, I'm feeling better about this. And Tyrese being the big daddy, so much happier.
No, I am gonna just really quick mention this, and I know you guys said you don't want to know stuff that happens in the comic books, but since we're past this point now in the comics, I feel it's okay to mention. In the comics, Judith did not make it through the prison scene. So,
yeah, I remember you saying that about Judith and about Laurie.
Yeah, Judith and Laurie. Laurie, was it child? I don't remember now because it's been a while. I don't remember if it was childbirth that she died in. I don't think that was the case, but I think they both died. And Judith didn't make it past a few weeks.
Yeah.
So
I remember seeing drawings of Judith being held by Laurie, so I think she survived childbirth.
Yeah, she made it through childbirth, and I think they died within a few. Maybe it was a week or so. I don't even remember now. They might have died at the same time. I think actually neither one of them made it through the prison.
Yeah.
Whatever the war at the prison. So, you guys happy that they went this way, or kind of disappointed? Because I know you don't really follow the comics very closely, but are you disappointed they don't follow the comics more closely, or do you think this was an appropriate change?
There are some appropriate changes that series have to follow to make it last longer. There are series such as Game of Thrones where they didn't really falter that much from the book. But I think that The Walking Dead kind of has to go its own road because it is such a dynamic and kind of out there theme that people would be more interested in seeing kind of deviations. I mean, I'm more interested in the deviations, but I mean, true hard fans are going to be like, why you changed this? Why?
Yeah. I mean, certain things make a lot more sense than others. Like, Michonne was not the one that finished off the governor in the comic books. And, it's just little things that they've changed that I think they've changed for the better here. And especially for TV, I think it's a little hard for to witness a child getting obliterated in a prison attack. I don't know. So,
I mean, I think it's also shock value. The way they revealed that Tyrese was holding Judith was something that would surprise not only the people who only watch the show, but people who know the comic book. It's probably people who know the comic book was like, yeah, it was obvious the baby wasn't going to make it out of the prison. But yeah, they're shocking all fans.
Yeah, that's what I like about it, because they keep things fresh, so you don't know exactly what to expect. There's been rumors, and you can say this all through you want. There's rumors that one of the main cast is going to die by the end of the season. But rumors are rumors. That doesn't necessarily mean that's going to happen, but the way The Walking Dead goes, that's not very surprising either. I totally expect that. And I know who the next main cast member that is supposed to die is going to be, but I'm not gonna say, obviously. But if they go that way, then there's gonna be some upset people. If they don't go that way, there's still gonna be some upset people, because who are you gonna kill off? Daryl? Like, he's not in the comic books.
Yeah.
So, like, you kill him off, I think the fans would riot. I think they'd lose their fan base at that point.
We've been saying it for seasons, like a couple seasons now. If Daryl dies, we riot. That's it.
Yeah.
No.
So, I don't know. We've been very light on Daryl information this whole, like, season so far. And it seems like they're kind of pushing in a Daryl-centric episode coming up. If that's the case, are they going to give us a Daryl-centric episode and then take him away from us?
It's possible. They did that with... No, not necessarily T-Dog, but... They've done it with some characters before. Like, they did it with Dale. That was a pretty Dale-centric episode when Dale died.
Yeah, it was. So, I don't know. I'd be kind of upset if Daryl bit the dust.
Yeah, me too.
But,
Me too.
I think that we've not necessarily been light on Daryl, but we've gotten enough of Daryl to know how much he cared about all the new people at the prison and the community they made. And he's sort of just been doing things on the side, and we're gonna get to see how he really feels. Like, it's gonna come out, and that's when we're gonna get, like, more Daryl stuff, when he starts to really show all the stuff that he feels.
Yeah.
Probably a lot.
So, all right, we're all glad Judith is alive. Getting back to that. Then we see Tyrese tells the girls to stay there. He sets them up in a position where they can see 360 degrees around them. He goes to check on the screams, and Judith just starts crying. She won't stop. Lizzie starts getting nervous because she's going to attract walkers. And probably the most controversial scene that we've had this season thus far. She starts smothering Judith in order to keep her quiet. Umi, I believe your daughter had a little bit of a fit over this, right?
She doesn't like the show, but she had to ask me a question, and she came in exactly on that part. And she flipped crap. Like, she just lost it. If she were allowed to swear, I'm sure she would have swore every word in that book, in that swear book. She was losing it. And I think the one word I did get out of that whole like rant of words was disgraceful. My daughter is 8 years old. So she didn't like it at all. She was so upset. She's like tearing up, and she just stomped out of the room. And I was like, okay, so I'm not watching TV at this part, because that was actually going to make me upset, but I was watching my daughter get upset, so I was crying anyways.
Clio, what did you think of that scene?
I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of whatever undiagnosed disorder Lizzie has, because clearly she does not process emotion like normal-minded people do. She deals with things differently. Me and John think she's some sort of autistic something. It's gonna start manifesting in the fact that they are in a post-apocalyptic world with no access to psychological care. It's gonna get out of hand, and I'm not sure that anyone's gonna know how to deal with it.
Right. I mean, if you were in her situation, what would you guys have done?
Not smothered the baby.
No. I honestly wouldn't know, because I'd be long gone. I'd be long
running.
I'd run. I wouldn't know where to go, but I'd be gone.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I mean, the way she had it, she was like covering not only its mouth, but its nose as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I had. Maybe I might try to put a hand over its mouth to just try to soften some of the quiet a little, but not to the extreme of which she was like smothering it completely.
Yeah, she had not only was she smothering the baby, but she was not hearing what her sister was saying. She was lost in the act of smothering the baby. I think.
Right.
Yeah.
I probably would have just ran to the direction Tyrese went. That's probably what I would have ended up doing.
Yeah.
If I was in that situation.
Yeah.
But
fight or flight, Lizzie's gonna fight.
Yeah. But see, I recently joined a group on Facebook for Walking Dead. It's called The Walking Dead Talk. Definitely recommend this to any Walking Dead fan out there. It is it's run by this guy. I believe his name is Billy Morgan. And the group just has some really interesting discussion there. Everything that's posted in there is followed up by at least like 10 comments. So there definitely a lot of talking going on in there. And there was a discussion just recently about Lizzie in here that I hadn't even considered. But they were talking about the fact that is it possible that Lizzie was the one that murdered Karen and David, and Carol burned the bodies to cover that up. What do you guys think about that theory?
It sounds plausible. It really does.
I think so too, because now it makes me want to go back and watch that episode where Rick leaves Carol, where Carol fesses up that, she was the one to kill. I need to see Carol's face as she said it, because hearing this theory, it makes me question Carol's quickness and willingness to say, yes, I murdered them.
Right. I mean, just looking at this discussion, there is, like I said, they discuss a lot of stuff here. There is over 200 comments on this one thread alone in this discussion. So definitely, if you're a Walking Dead fan, check this group out. We'll just do Walking Dead Talk. Search that for Facebook group. If you're watching this after the live recording, I'll have a link down in the description below that you guys can send a request. This is probably the best. I'm in a lot of different Facebook groups for all different TV shows for everything, to try to get some ideas for discussion when we do these talk shows. This is the best of all of the discussion groups for any show that I've ever seen. The community on it is great. They have a nice big welcome post when you guys first join. They welcome you to their community. It's really great group of people. So I can't stress that group enough. Go check them out. But yeah, I definitely think that could be the case there, because I could see we've seen I don't think any of us are in disagreement that we think Lizzie was the one feeding the zombies the rats, right?
No.
Yeah, that's very, very likely.
And then
there was a scene when Daryl and Beth were actually sitting at a campsite, and there was a log there, and you couldn't really see, it was dark, but you could see some gray masses, and we actually find out that it was Lizzie that slayed some bunnies in the log, and that's what was there.
Yeah. You see Daryl and Beth walking by, you see this stuff in the log, but you didn't quite know what it was. Then you go back and you see it, and then they cut back and they show you Daryl and Beth walking by that log again, and then you realize, oh, that's what that was. So yeah, like she's gotten, and now, like you said, you got to go back and watch. You're gonna remember this as soon as I bring it up. What about when they were trying to investigate the burnings, and they found the dissected rat down there?
Yeah.
That's just even more evidence now. Oh, hello, phone. My phone decided to go off.
I don't know. Dissected though, like it just looked like it was dissected with finesse and expertise.
Right. So if we're blaming Lizzie for feeding the zombies rats, and then they find a dissected zombie right near the burned bodies, like this just puts this theory even closer together.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, that it's clearly part of a reveal that's going to be later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think Carol knows the truth.
Carol does. She definitely knows the truth.
I think Carol knows the truth, and she was covering up because, I mean, it makes sense. She's doing a motherly thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure was. So, just in case anybody needs a babysitter, you can call Lizzie.
No.
Not gonna
that's
happen.
Okay.
No?
That's
No,
all right.
No?
not gonna happen.
Come on.
No.
She's the only babysitter that I know that would literally sit on the baby.
That's horrible.
Okay, so moving right along.
What?
Moving right along. Carol comes back. We were just talking about Carol, and all of a sudden she comes back. Now, you would think, after Tyrese knowing what Carol did, that Carol would be the last person that he wanted to see.
Tyrese does not know what Carol did.
Oh, he doesn't?
He doesn't know.
I thought Rick told him.
No.
No, Rick didn't get the chance to tell him.
Oh, yeah, he was
Daryl.
interrupted.
He told
Mhm.
Daryl and he told Herschel. Those are the only two people he got to tell, as far as I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were watching and I was so happy Carol's back, and then, a few minutes passed and I turned to John, I was like, oh wait, I totally forgot that this is gonna end badly. I got so excited Carol came back that I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. Okay. I thought that he had known, and I was like, he did a pretty good job of keeping himself together there. But yeah, now that
Yeah, no, I-
No idea. He's oblivious to the fact.
Yeah.
So what do you think is gonna happen when he finds out now?
It seems like a lot of people are starting to break down because of the shock and things. I think Tyrese is gonna lose it like some of the others, and he's gonna have to get it back. But I don't know. That's not really a thing yet.
I think
You
it's
forgive
gonna-
easily.
I think it hinges on how long it takes for somebody to tell Tyrese what happens, and also who tells him.
Yeah.
Because he went apeshit on Rick. When they had found the bodies, they just had a slugfest. So I think it depends on who tells him, because the only ones right now who know are Carol, Daryl, and Rick.
Yeah.
Yep. And it looks like Daryl and Beth are right on their tail. Like,
Yeah, they
they're
don't
following
know.
them, so
Yeah.
it may come up sooner than you think. And who knows? Daryl may have said something to Beth for all we know. We don't really know for sure, so Beth may know.
I don't think Daryl would have said anything to Beth. I think Daryl is in shutdown mode.
Yeah.
He hardly said anything,
Yeah, I could see that.
so.
And then we see the whole group, everybody. We got walkers upstairs. We got the whole group, like the culmination of this episode was they were heading off into one direction, and they, not the band, and they they were following the tracks up north, I believe. Was it north? I believe they were going north. They were going to Terminus, the city, right? And Terminus literally means end of the line.
Yeah.
Terminate.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Do you think there's going to be like some sort of Woodbury type place, or
I think it might be more military run than Woodbury.
Yeah. I'm guessing military as well. It does sound like something. It seems a little bit more strict.
Bye, bitch.
Seems a little more strict.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
I think that they're gonna either go to Terminus willingly or by force. And then once they're in Terminus, the moon is gonna crash down into Terminus.
See, I don't think Tara and Glenn have a chance to go willingly. I think they have to go by force.
Yeah.
Because as we saw there, we had Maggie looking for Glenn. She thought he was on the bus, and
I missed my Legend of Zelda joke.
yeah, but
Majora's Mask, we got it.
no, I didn't hear it. I literally didn't hear it.
Oh.
The moon's gonna crash into Terminus.
Ah, okay. I heard Terminus, but for some reason I wasn't. Yeah. Anyway, all you have to do is just hit the reset button on your GameCube, and you're fine. So.
Play the song of time.
Hmm.
Does anybody
But
got an ocarina?
yes, get your ocarina. Do you have an ocarina? Can you play
do.
for us?
I do.
Can you play for us?
I don't fucking know where it is.
What is the good of having an ocarina if you can't play it for us?
Found it.
Aha! Okay, so we'll just have a little side tangent real quick.
I forget how to play it though.
Can you play the Song of Storms?
Probably, but I don't know that one. I know the Song of Time. That's probably the one I
Okay,
can play.
alright, let's do that.
Where?
Oh yeah, I know it, but...
I was just trying to remember how it went. Hold on. Wait.
That was actually really good.
Yay! It's the only one I
Yay!
Now if you could figure out how to play My Heart Will Go On, just like in the recorder
You
video.
just have to play that every 3 days. And
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
Perfect. Alright, so Maggie goes looking for Glenn. And she thinks he's still on the bus. So she opens the door, zombies are pouring out of the bus, they're stabbing him. She needed confirmation that Glenn was dead. She needed to find that out. She didn't find it. So where do you think she is emotion-wise?
Well,
Not
it
stable.
was like a 45-second shot of her just crying, but then she was sort of laughing at the end of it.
Yeah, it was kind
Like,
of
thank God that
creepy,
wasn't Glenn.
creepy, like, I don't know, funhouse kind of laugh almost at the end there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so then you see what Glenn, they've been interchangeably cutting, and then you see Glenn and Tara, and they're doing their thing, and I have a few other things I want to talk about, but since we're talking about Terminus here, I figured we'll bring up the end of the episode real quick, where they're fighting off this horde of zombies, Glenn and Tara, and all of a sudden, this group gets out after Glenn passes out. This group gets out of the what were they in, like ATV or something?
Something.
Yeah, they were in some kind of tank.
It's like a big
So
truck.
yeah, it was some kind of military type truck, and this is where we're introduced to Abraham, Eugene, and Rosita for the first time in the show. They are major parts of the comic, and even the scene that we are introduced to them in the episode is directly out of the comic book. Like, pose is exact. So this is issue 53 of the comic book. So we're a little less than halfway through the comic series right now. But I don't know. What do you guys think that they look very similar to? I think they look dead on to the comic book drawings. Abraham especially.
Yeah, Abraham looks a lot. It looks very similar. So does Rosita, but I didn't really get a good look at Eugene. I'll have to go back and take a look, but
Yeah.
Yeah, the actor that plays him, Josh McDermott, he looks he looks a lot like him to me. So, I don't know. I was very impressed, just by the level of detail, even down to the poses, like the way he was holding the walkie, the way the gun was held on both him and Rosita. It was dead on, like it was right out of the comic. It was kind of ridiculous, I thought.
ridiculous
Ridiculous in the amount of detail that went into it. It was
okay,
just
like ridiculous good ridiculous.
yeah, a
not,
good kind of ridiculous.
Not ridiculous, haha, that was stupid ridiculous.
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
yeah. And I just noticed in chat, Uthgrad was like, "It's not like Herschel could tell him."
Yeah.
Going
Yeah.
back to
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I could see Terminus being like this very military run base because this is where we meet Eugene and Abraham and Rosita, and it looks like they're gonna bring them back to Terminus.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Seems that's where everybody's going.
The other ones, the other group, I think Lizzie, Mika, Judith, Therese, Carol, I think they're gonna go willingly.
Yeah, they were at the entrance. It did seem like they were happy to find this place.
Yeah.
Although, given the name Terminus,
Yeah.
they should be feeling a little apprehension.
Yeah. I think Beth and Daryl will probably stumble on it. More by happenstance.
Yeah, because they're in that area.
There's Shark Cat again.
Bye, Josie!
Shark Cat. You need like a soundboard so you could just every time the cat walks by, it's just. Dun.
She's got such a fat tail.
It's the biggest cat tail I've ever seen.
So cute.
So along with Maggie, we have Sasha and Bob backwards.
Backwards.
Yes. How do you spell Bob backwards?
Bob.
B-O-B. No, backwards. I said.
Dodd.
B-O-B. Okay. Yeah. It's. I don't know why. I still don't know why we call him Bob backwards, but he's Bob backwards. But the fact that he stole that alcohol finally came in handy.
Yes. Thank God.
you-
He is such an, an
If
addict.
it wasn't for that, do you think Glenn and Tara would have been able to escape?
It would have been much harder for them to escape, especially since Tara didn't have any riot gear.
Hmm.
Yeah.
See, that's what I would have done as if I was in Glenn's position. If there was no alcohol to throw like a Molotov cocktail, I would have just threw Tara out there. I mean,
Okay.
I had an ex-girlfriend named Tara, so
That it's funny, me and John were talking about that, and the bottle seemed to be half empty.
yeah.
So Bob must have drank half that bottle.
Either
which means
that,
in a couple days he's gonna be less than.
either that, or somebody else did. Was that his room though? I don't think that was his room that the bottle was found in, right?
The bottle was just found lying around, but it was closed and half empty.
Right.
And somebody drank it, and it's probably was Bob, because he was in a stupid good mood for having all of their friends just be murdered.
Yeah.
But he's also fairly new to the group too, though. So
Yeah, but I think he drank half that bottle, and in the next couple days he's gonna be not so happy about
He's
his
gonna
life anymore.
Yep. Gonna be feeling like someone punched him in the head 10 times over.
So like we mentioned, they went and they were looking through the bus to try to find Glenn. But what exactly happened on that bus? Because there was no zombies on the bus. They just took off and they left. So
I mean,
like,
everyone
what
was
happened?
everyone was just getting over that sickness.
Yeah, it's possible
if someone
somebody.
died on the bus and nobody
Yeah.
noticed,
Yeah.
it could have easily started biting people.
Yeah.
yeah, and they're all in confined close quarters. And
Yeah.
yeah, you would think more people would be able to get out though, because there are 2 exits on a bus. So as soon as somebody is screaming that they got bit, because they're not going to get bit and be completely dead silent about it, you
It
know?
depends on how many people were sick and how many people died.
This is true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It did look like somebody on the bus had a gunshot in their head, didn't they?
I don't know.
One of the...
Yeah, I didn't notice either. There was just so much. Maggie was in there swinging and doing whatever she wanted and killing all the things. I couldn't really pay attention to people's head wounds.
Yeah. So I don't know if one person took their own life after that because they didn't want to turn into a zombie or what the case was there, but I don't know. It was just... I think what happened was somebody got sick or somebody was completely wounded from the battle, got on and died, but doesn't really explain how the entire bus went out to me, because you would think as soon as you jump out the emergency exit in the back, you jump out the door in the front, like you have 2 different ways out, and I don't know, unless like 2 or 3 people and they blocked all the exits, and I'd still find a way out though, I don't know, that's just me.
Some of the windows were missing.
Oh yeah, that's true, some of the windows were missing and boarded up. That was true.
Well,
Or was that done
I think
before
that
they
was
drove
done,
off?
That was done before they had prepped the bus for if they had to get out of a mass of zombies. I thought that
there-
they had, like,
There really was windows missing.
Oh, I
Hmm.
don't know that either.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I didn't notice that. I noticed the gunshot wound, but I didn't notice the bus windows. I could pick out every pineapple in every episode of Psych, but I can't point out missing windows on a bus. I'm a terrible person. Yeah, so I don't know, did anything else major happen this episode that you guys can recall? Other than
no
there was the
Carl.
sign. There was a sign that said hitchhikers may be escaping inmates.
Yeah, thanks for that. That's an amazing warning. Thank you so much.
I
I'm
just
totally
thought that was a
worried
nice
about
little.
that.
I thought that was a nice little
Hitchhikers might be
touch.
zombies.
They might. That would be hysterical. A hitchhiking zombie.
Yeah. No,
What were you saying about Carl?
the only thing I have to add is there's no Carl.
We had the Carl-centric
About
episode
Carl
last week.
episode.
Yeah, we had
Doesn't
enough
ma-
of Carl. We had enough of his pudding. He probably
I had
gained
enough
like
of his
7,000 pounds of
smugness.
pudding face.
That's my point. People didn't want any more Carl, but you know, I had to make point of that he was nowhere to be seen.
I'm glad.
Hmm.
I don't know. I can't find it right now. But there's a meme going around that showed Carl. They like puffed his face out and made him look like he was like 700 pounds.
Wow.
And it was something along the lines of it was more than just whatever gallons or ounces of pudding. But yeah, I can't find it. I think it was in that Walking Dead group I was talking about earlier.
My favorite thing that came up out of that was Carl still can't stay in the house.
Yeah, Carl still can't
Fucking-
stay in the house.
Carl hasn't learned a goddamn thing.
No, he certainly hasn't.
He's got a like massive ego now too. So
He does. It's no longer a dictatorship. It is.
now it's a try to not get Carl killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some bad memes that I'm scrolling through. This group is great. I love it though. So, yeah. Anyway, so next week, the episode 11 is called Claimed. We have such a very in-depth synopsis for next week.
It's so great.
This is how Walking Dead always goes. It's so in-depth all the time. A number of immediate threats plague Rick, and group members deal with their paths. Or their pasts. Why can't I say pasts? I keep wanting
Ooh,
to
I
say
hope
pasts.
it's more Michonne past.
I don't know. I think we got enough out of Michonne.
No, I want more Michonne.
Do you really think we need to see more Michonne?
No, we don't need to, but
So we probably won't.
I love Michonne.
You might see more about her in the next few episodes, but not next episode.
Come on, Walking Dead has shown us some things we didn't need to see.
Like what?
I can't think off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
that's what I thought.
Like all of the governor stuff, all that stuff.
Yeah,
Who's this guy?
high five.
No, here's the thing though. The governor, that episode, and I know Chrissy doesn't like it because of the but look at it from a non-governor perspective.
No.
It set up so many other characters like Tara.
I know that information was necessary. I hate the way they did it. Let's take 2 episodes and ignore everything we've been setting up this season to look at the governor for 2 episodes. No,
I like that though.
That was done so poorly.
Maybe.
Hate it.
No.
It was done. It was not.
So tell us how you really feel.
It was not handled well. I don't think.
The governor is a horrible, horrible person. I'm glad he got his face stabbed with a freaking katana. That's how I really feel. Amazing, right?
Yeah.
I love that picture.
Sure is that.
This picture I'm about to pull up right now.
Oh my god.
Come on, that picture's great.
Oh my god.
I don't know who is that. Oh, that's Cosby. Okay, alright, that's funny.
Come on. Come
Okay,
on,
that's
that's
funny.
great. Ah,
Cosby is the pudding man.
he is the pudding man.
This is a Jello pudding pop.
All right, so what characters do you think we're gonna see some of their past?
Maybe.
Someone we haven't seen before. Let's guess, because we've just recently seen Michonne.
Bob backwards.
Bob backwards. You think we're gonna see some
Or Sasha.
Bob?
Maybe Sasha and Tyrese.
I'd like to see some of Bob. I'd like to see a flashback, but he's still kind of a new character. Does he deserve one yet? When some of the other people we haven't even seen any of their flashbacks.
Sasha and Tyrese.
So,
Oh God,
Bob?
really? Come on.
Bob doesn't really seem like he could use one right now, because he hasn't really been a super important character that anybody's going to really care about. But Tyrese, now that you've seen him, thrown into the daddy mode, and he's had all these traumatic times with Karen, and he's worried about
Sasha.
did Sasha. He could do with some background on him. Could handle. We could totally get background on Judith. I mean, we don't know anything about her.
Yeah, we need so much background. We need to see what she was doing in the womb.
We never saw, the moment of her birth.
We need to see her fighting in the womb, kicking,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
What we need.
Get off my face, Dom.
Well, what we need is we need the background story of how the pudding got on top of the counter.
Yes.
That's what we really need.
Totally what we need.
We need it.
We need that badly.
Yeah.
Need it.
What I would like to
Story of
see,
pudding.
like we were talking about last week, if they do the Walking Dead spinoff and they put it in the same thing, I would love to see one of the characters like squirming around. They find this pudding, right? And like some of their other group is coming in, so they hide the pudding on like the top of the thing, and then a walker comes in or something, and they get scared out and they have to leave, and they never get back to the pudding. I think that would be hysterical.
I mean, I know you want it would be interesting to have the spin-off be
In the same
area, but
Yeah.
I don't think that it would. I mean, I don't know. I don't
It
think
just
that's
seems
what I
like-
want.
It
See,
just seems like there's a limited amount of people.
yeah.
I mean, they do, and for them to be a completely different part of the country, of the world, whatever, it just makes sense that they would be like, say, like maybe across seas or whatever, and go make the spinoff from there. But I mean, I can see where you would want
What I would like to
connections
see.
with Atlanta and stuff.
Here's exactly what I would like to see that would probably make everybody happy. Start off in the same area as them and migrate elsewhere so you could see more of the world. But if you start it there for like the first season, and you have the crossover capabilities where you see little things like maybe how the pudding got there, maybe instead of that, maybe you see what happened after they went through, see the writing Carl put on the door like we were talking about last week, and then see how far they migrate away from the other group and get in a completely different area and end up maybe states away, just to see, just to have the direct draw to pull people into it and be like, oh, here it is, and here's some references that we're familiar with that we can kind of relate to, and then after it's established, go off on your own path. I don't know. I'd like to see that. And that doesn't mean that everybody that's involved in that season, or that series rather, even needs to start there, because we could have flashbacks and different things from people that were elsewhere that made their way over here, or vice versa.
Right.
I don't know. So yeah, I think that about wraps things up, right? You guys have anything else we may have missed or you wanted to talk about?
No.
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 If you had to pick one of the main cast members to die.
Maggie.
Not Maggie.
Maggie.
Maggie and not Maggie. That's very specific.
Maggie, and honestly, like I've said it before, I think Rick's time is coming to a close. I don't think we're gonna.
Oh, that just triggered something real quick. Abraham is very much like Daryl. In the comics, he's pretty much set the exact same way that Daryl is set up. So, how do you think we're gonna get these two characters interacting if they meet up? Like the kind of conflict they're gonna butt heads with when they both have the same kind of mentality.
Yeah, I think they're gonna hate each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be a very interesting dynamic to see, because that's something that the comic book obviously can't explore because Daryl's not in the comics.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and somebody that we're going to be meeting soon, and I'm not going to say from who, what, where, when, why, or how, is basically 100% polar opposite to Rick. More so than the governor, and everybody thought the governor was Rick's kind of yin-yang the opposite. This other character that we're going to be meeting very soon, or should be meeting very soon anyway, is really Rick's opposite. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that dynamic plays out with the addition to some of these new characters, Eugene, Abraham, and Rosita.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm really excited for the second half of this season. Probably more so than I was for the beginning of this season.
Yeah. I don't know, for some reason I've lost the enthusiasm that I had at the beginning of this season.
Really? Why is that?
I don't know.
It's probably just the
The
brain.
momentum kind of slowed down for you a little bit?
I think it destroyed they just destroyed any momentum with the Governor episodes.
Hmm.
I think instead of I don't know. I really don't know why. I mean, I still love the show.
Right.
Yeah.
You're wrong. It's just I've lost that. I don't have that same enthusiasm that I had in the beginning of this season.
We had this really big build up, and then it dropped for like 2 episodes, and then it peaked again, and then all of a sudden now it's just kind of dropped, and it's kind of like the aftermath, and it's really slow getting right now. All the only thing I can say is, for those of you that are fans of the comics, and for those of you that are not fans of the comics, we should, if they go with the comic story, within the next episode or 2, we should see a very familiar place really soon.
Okay.
So, be on the lookout for that. Yeah. Umi, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
Clio, where can the people find you?
You can find me on most social media at Cliomoto and on Twitch at the Cliomoto. I'm currently revamping my YouTube, so it will probably be Cliomoto. We're gonna see though. Start to do that.
And make sure to check her out as well on Twitch while she plays Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and some other fun Zelda games. And then when she decides to make any progress whatsoever without saving the game, she likes to hit the reset button.
I like to trip over the extension cord and...
It's the reset button.
Yes. The reset button.
Very entertaining to watch. You can find me down below at Phenomedom, PHENOMEDOM, and you can find us all on tvcaptive.com, as well as ASOTV podcast on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Gmail, and G+. So, till next week. Who?
Woo! Woo!
See you guys later. There's another owl? Umi's got an owl too?
Yeah! All the owl things!
I'll drink to that.
I'll drink to that.
I'll drink to that.